Thank you for joining us again, Ron.
Yeah, I'd love to be here.
Jeff, on to you.
All right, thank you. Good afternoon, Ron. It's good to see your face. Got a chance to talk to you a little earlier today, and looks like Chris has made it. How you doing, sir?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. Really appreciate you taking time out of your busy afternoon to chat with us a little here on our Race Week Industry seminar and webinar. There we are. Yeah.
There's
Everybody
Vince.
here, Vince, this you?
Hey,
That's
how you
Vince.
doing?
Good. Good to see you, gentlemen. Well, Ron, like we said, we talked a little earlier, and I'm just going to kind of like turn it over to you guys to talk shop here because, as I told you earlier, I know that you can take a diesel and you can make it spin the rear wheels. And then you guys have told me not
Yes,
only can
sir.
we make it spin the rear wheels, we can make it hook up and go fast.
That's right. Well, we've been starting 2025. We'll be going into our 18th year of doing this. So we've been at a lot of tracks, a lot of states, a lot of locations. The reason I invited Vince and Chris here with me today is they've been with us many years as some of our top drag racers. And one of the issues that's come up here, not only locally, but I think in every city across the nation, is street racing, and the kids are racing on the streets of every city. I'm in Kansas City, and they've even passed a local ordinance on it to stop it and arrest whoever's there. And I want to bring these guys on because they've been in our street truck divisions. And I want the kids to bring their trucks to the tracks and let's race legally. And I can tell you some of the objections I've heard from the young people. We have 18 to 30-year-olds easily at the track every time we hold an event.
Right.
And they have trucks sitting on the side. And one of their objections is, well, I don't want to break anything. I want to get home. Well, I can tell you for a fact that in an 8th-mile racing, most of these street trucks are anywhere from probably 400 to 700 horse. And in an 8th mile, they aren't going to go any faster than an on-ramp on the highway going 75 to 80 miles an hour. So they're not going to be breaking anything, but they're going to be having a lot of fun because they can race their friends. We'll put them up against each other. And I get both these guys have killer trucks. They're both still street legal. And they've won. Vince has been our 4-year points champion. And Chris has had 4 street truck championships easily in the time he's raced. Chris has been racing with us since about 2007. And I think Vince has been racing with us since what, 2012, somewhere around there, Vince?
I started in '07.
07, okay. But
Yes.
you know, they've been around for years. We've had a lot of fun, and I want these guys to kind of tell these young people what to expect with their trucks. It's no big secret. It's you can race estimated time bracket racing or an index racing on a 8th mile that's 770, or you can go heads up. And a lot of guys go, "Hey, my truck's not fast enough for heads up." But as these guys can tell you, hey, it's who's ever last after 4 rounds. Your truck may not be fast on the first round, but come 4th round, you may be the fastest truck. Isn't that right, guys?
Most definitely.
I mean, Chris, why don't you tell them some of the races you've been in with
True.
us?
Very true.
You've been around, and tell them kind of quickly what your truck is.
My truck is a Duramax powered 70 Chevy. We call it Orange Crush. It's 2-wheel drive, which is not as common as most of the trucks are 4-wheel drives. So I've been all over the country racing with the diesel organizations. We always have a good time. Ron's races are always very family orientated. So they're just safe and fun.
Well, Chris,
Vince,
where
why don't
are
you
you
tell them a
racing
little?
at? Where are you guys racing at? You know, when you say you've been all over the country, let the folks that are watching right here, that may be interested in maybe joining you. Where all do you race?
Well, this year we'll be racing in Missouri, Iowa, Indiana, Pennsylvania, and we're still looking at a couple of locations, probably in Alabama and Ohio. So, kind of in the farm belts this year. We have gone down to Texas, we've gone down to Florida, we've gone out west. It just depends on what year and what locations, but those are the locations for this year. And it mainly circles right now around the farm belts, anywhere from Kansas all the way over to the state of New York, because that's where the trucks are at. Hey, Vince, why don't you tell them a little bit about your truck?
Well, my truck's an '07 GMC 2500 HD, and it's all street legal. Makes it right around 1200 horsepower, and it gets right with it. You know,
But yours is a four-wheel drive, right, Vince?
um, twin turbo dual fuel address pickup. And it's 4-wheel drive, yes. And I race it all in 4-wheel drive all the way down the track.
Okay. So guys, when you're, for those who have drag raced in other series, what do you guys do different as far as getting your stuff ready to run and like say making it, where you talk about making multiple runs, 4, 5, 6 passes, in a day or the weekend? I don't know how y'all break that out. Do you have like preliminaries, like on Saturday and finals on Sunday? How does that work?
It's usually a full day, like on a Saturday, most cases.
Yeah, generally we hold these on a Saturday so people can get there using Friday night, Saturday
Mhm.
morning, and then we normally start in the afternoons or evenings. And then that way we end up during the day because they need Sunday to get back to their state so they can easily get to work on Monday.
So how many different classes do you run in? Because like say Chris talks about it being a 2-wheel drive truck. Vince says he's got a 4-wheel drive. Do y'all run heads up against each other? Is it bracket racing? I mean, how does that work?
Well, we actually run ET racing, which is estimated time, and any 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive can run in those. And that's just estimated time bracket racing. And then we have a 770 index, which is, again, either 2-wheel or 4-wheel drive. And then a heads up. Yeah, it's whoever wants to go up against each other. I mean, we've even had diesel cars jump in on some of the classes. So, uh, it depends on how fast you think your truck is during while you're running. But the main thing is yes, we follow all the safety rules of SFI, which are obviously the same as NHRA. So the faster you go, the more safety items you have to have on your truck. And yes, Vince and Chris both have those items already on their truck because they go pretty fast. So these two guys normally run in the 770 and the heads up classes. So they can run in 2 classes. I don't care how many classes they run in. The more they run, the more money they get, purse monies. And we generally
Sure.
pay first and second places and trophies for first and second. So normal fee is maybe $55, $75 to enter. And you can win 500, 1,000, whatever the purse money is for that day. But it's lots of fun. Most of these guys run 3 to 4 times against other competitors. And it can be lots of fun. The main thing is these young guys, they need to realize they can bring their truck, and you don't have to be that experienced in ET bracket racing. It's not how fast you go, it's estimated time. You could win going 18 seconds in an 8th mile if you want. I mean, that's pretty slow, but you could go that
As
slow.
long as you're consistent.
Yeah, as long as you're consistent, you can win. I mean,
Yeah, as long as
we
you're
had
consistent.
we had a guy in Pennsylvania show up in a oh my gosh, it was ugly. 84 lime green diesel Mercedes. And that guy was so slow. People were laughing at him going down the track all day long. But when I went up in the winner's circle, I asked my race director, I go, what's that guy doing up here? And he goes, that guy almost won the race if he hadn't red lighted. He's second, Ron.
Well, while we're talking about the vehicles themselves, and you talk about the speeds you're running and this and everything, you got to have the proper safety gear and everything. So I'm assuming helmets, uh, full face helmets. I don't know if open face is still permitted. Fire suits. Do your vehicles have roll cages in it and like onboard fire extinguishers and stuff?
Chris, you want to tell him what you got on yours?
Yeah, my truck is full cage. It's basically like a Pro Mod back half, window net belts, all SFI flex plate, tranny shields, balancer. I mean, everything that's required in NHRA to run low to mid nines, the truck has.
Okay.
Vince, you want to tell him what your has on there?
Sure, mine's an all street legal truck, so it's got the safety belts, it's got the drive shaft loops, it has all the safety stuff for the front end to hold the front end. But as far as it don't have a cage, uh, it can run faster than what it what I on the track, so I have to slow it down to because I don't have a cage in the truck,
Mhm.
and so I run the 770, and they don't we don't have to have a cage for that. I don't know if they're changing the rules where you have to now, but like I said, my truck's a fully 6,200 pound, uh, fully factory. I mean, you can drive it to the store and back. It's a fully dressed pickup, except for the AC's been taken off of it.
What? No air condition? How can you go to the store
I
without having
know.
air conditioning?
Hey, now come on, they're not supposed to turn on the air conditioning in the
Well, I
staging
know it's
lanes. Come
tough.
on.
Have to roll. I guess it's
Oh man.
280. Run the windows.
Yeah.
I'll go by
280
I'll go
mile an
by
hour.
and yell at
I,
them, Jeff, if they have their air conditioning on in the staging lanes. Come on.
So you got
I
two
I can
different.
put it back on there. It's not been cut up.
Oh, okay. So you're not quite that doggone, I guess you might say, dumb. You didn't lose it. You just put it over to try to save a little bit of power, make a little more power the other way. Um, if you come to an
Mm-hmm.
event with a truck similar to Vince's here, no roll cage and everything, and you want to compete, what are the safety requirements, and what are the requirements to where if someone said, "Hey, I want to try this," and if I like it, I may want to go the same route that Chris went, but I'm not too sure yet. So how does that play out, guys? How do you, who
Well,
what kind of safety rules do you have, and what kind of inspection crew would you have to go up against and meet whatever you need to have on it right?
well, we have regular SFI techs, and they're all uh, according to the rules that we have with SFI, which is basically the same as NHRA. And to start out, really about the only thing we require in an ET bracket where they can start out is you have to have long pants and covered shoes, no sandals. And most tracks requires they have a helmet. And lots of times, if they don't have a helmet, we'll actually even rent them a helmet, or the track will rent them a helmet. So that's basically all you need to start out. We do tell them, no, you cannot have coolers or boots or dirt or empty cans in the bed of the truck. You have to clear all that stuff out. But other than that, they can show up in their street truck and just have fun racing.
So if one guy wants to come do it, you don't need a crew. You just need to have the will to come show up and pay your entry fee and come to one of you guys and say, okay, how do I do this the first time around? What's the secret? Do I have to run against the Christmas tree, or how do I know when to go?
Well, we actually, if they really want to know, I've actually had people like Chris and Vince take a group of them and kind of show them how to work the lights
Okay.
if they want to ask. I mean, I've actually taken a group myself and showed them how it works, and that's the reason we let them run a couple of trial runs is to get the timing down.
Right.
And as these guys can tell you, they can kind of give you a brief idea of what they do when they pull up to the tree and on takeoff. But it's pretty simple. Why don't we start with Chris and then Vince? You tell them too after Chris what you guys do when you get up to the tree to run up against somebody.
Since mine is a two-wheel drive truck, I have to do a burnout in a bleach box. And then we roll up to the first amber light, and that is pre-stage. And then we start spooling it up, giving it throttle and getting a turbo to build a little bit of boost. And then roll it into the second light and get it up a little higher. And as soon as you see yellow, you get off the brake and you're out of there.
Okay.
Vince, why don't you tell them?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is courtesy stage for people, especially the young kids that come in and work. And I've helped several of them, kids to show them how to run the lights and how to stage and how to pre-stage and everything, and always be courteous of the other racer. Don't want to double bulb someone. I pull up there, I always turn on the first pre-stage light, always wait for the next racer, turn on his light. That tells me that he's ready. We're spooling up, ready for the double wall, the regular all four lights. And then depending on if you're running heads up or bracket, you'll either have three yellows flash on and you go, or you'll have consistent of 1, 2, 3 and green to flash on for the bracket. And it's on that
So
for
Chris,
that,
going back to your truck,
so
being a two-wheel in the division you're in, do you run
Mhm.
a regular
Mhm.
power glide or a automatic transmission? And the same thing for you, Vince. I mean, are there any
It-
variables
it,
there?
it's a fully built six-speed Allison and transfer
Okay.
case, and they're both
Mhm.
fully built. And I'm a custom home builder, have for been 26 years. So I do in the Navy. That's all I did is build engines, and so I do everything to my truck, but the transmission and transfer case, and I have a Raceline Diesel out of Everton do that, and also Mike Bodine out of Independence, Missouri, work on my transmission, and I don't know what they do to it. There's too many parts and pieces for me to, but it's an all the original transmission that come out of that truck, but it's just got aftermarket parts in it built to hold the horsepower. So you can pull up to a Corvette or stock Camaro or Mustang and just knock the doors off of them with a little 62 pound pickup. So it's a lot of fun.
Yours the same way, Chris?
Mine is actually, it's a Duramax powered, but I have a Dodge transmission in it from Suncoast. And it's all billet and everything's aftermarket and tranny pretty much. So,
So guys, how long does your season run? And when you're running, are you running for points for a year-end trophy or anything like that? I mean, how does that work as far as your association is concerned?
Yeah, our normally
Well,
starts about the when the weather turns nice, April or May, and we'll run until October. And yeah, at the guys that come to each race, like Chris and Vince, we'll keep tabs on what they've run, and then we award a couple of awards at the end of the year for points,
Mhm.
and make it fun deal for them, and we have fun going to different tracks. I mean, we've become pretty good friends over the years because I try to pick out different, sometimes historic tracks. There's a lot of neat tracks that we go to. A couple of years ago, we went to Amarillo, and just because it's along the old Route 66, and we left early and stayed at a couple of neat Route 66 hotels and saw some neat things. And then we went down to New Orleans and spent a week down in New Orleans and saw some I think that was a week of Mardi Gras, wasn't it, Vince?
So I actually won that race.
Yeah,
Sit
you
down there.
did.
That I don't know if can you see that trophy? I don't know if you can see them, but it's one of those right there on the cabinet.
We
So
actually ran that down at
that was a
the
good time.
NASCAR track down in New Orleans. We ran it on their front strip.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
So, but yeah, I mean, we went down and went to took the crew down to downtown to the Mardi Gras street and had some fun. And then this last year we went up. Every year we always go to one of our big races, is in New Media Dragway in Pennsylvania, which is about an hour and a half north of Philly. And Chris went to that one, and it's always a beautiful. It's on top of the Pocono Mountains. And that is one of the few locations where we hold drag racing and sled bowling going on at the very same time, right next to each other. They're not within 50 feet of each other, side by side. So people can watch drag racing go down the track, and at the same time, they can watch 300-foot sled bowling going on at the same time.
Okay, you've opened another door here, so I got to have a question here that tells me, do you have to have separate trucks to be able to do that?
If you're running a street truck, not necessarily, but if you're running for any kind of speed, yes. I don't think Chris would want to take his truck sled bowling.
Most definitely not.
Yeah. I was
They're
gonna say,
built
I don't think
different.
two-wheel drive doesn't compete very well against four-wheel drive.
Well, even
Me
four-wheel
either.
drive, they're just built different.
Yeah.
The guys in sled pulling block the suspensions and take out a lot of the steering and reinforce it. And they're just built different. That's why when people go on about you got to realize, out of our 4 to 5 classes for racing and pulling, over 4 of them are trailered in. So there's one class for street trucks and sled pulling, and one class in drag racing, and the rest are pretty well trailered in. So yeah, you could do the low end classes and have the same truck, and a lot of people have. So it's a little hard if they're running at the same time, though. You sure would be jumping back and forth, that's for sure.
Keep you hopping for sure. I got an idea. I think we
Sure.
need to get something lined up for Francis to be able to come to one of your events, because I'd love to see him drive something like a four-wheel drive diesel truck and see what he feels like when all 4 tires are drabbing and getting on down through there about 80, 90 miles an hour.
Well, don't get me
Yes,
started,
sir.
Jeff. You might be surprised.
Why?
Hey,
Well, we could probably put him in with Vince, right, Vince?
definitely. Yeah, I'll put his head back to the window.
There you go.
Excellent.
There you go.
But thank you, Ron. As always, Ron has been a big supporter of this platform and everything we do. So we very much appreciate your support, Ron. And you're not only a supporter, but a friend and someone who has helped us build this platform from the ground up. And so we're very appreciative of everything you have done. And we wish you the absolute very best with your series.
EPARTRADE is a digital platform that we've created basically to make life easier in the business community of auto racing.
EPARTRADE, there is no e-commerce. It's literally a connection, just like at a trade show. So now, any time of the year, a buyer could reach out to a supplier.
When you see a product that you're interested in, all you need to do is click on request more information, and then from there it is forwarded directly to the buyer or to the supplier.
EPARTRADE really eliminates having to travel, closing down your shop. Now you have a place to showcase globally your racing product and technology.
Looking for a quick fix of motorsports news? The Speed Sport Daily is what you need. It's a free racing newsletter delivered directly to your email every day. We'll cover the winners and the losers and tell you who's making news off the track. It's NASCAR, NHRA, World of Outlaw, IndyCar, and so much more. Go to speedsport.com today and get signed up for America's free racing newsletter and get your daily motorsports fix. The Speed Sport Daily.
Land speed record holder George Poteet's Speed Demon rocketed 481 miles per hour at the Bonneville Salt Flats. You don't go that fast without ARP fasteners.
There is no way that we could go the speed that we've gone, the number of times we've gone, with a lesser quality bolt than ARP supplies to us. And we absolutely wouldn't be where we were today if it weren't for ARP.
When failure is not an option, it's ARP-bolts.com.
We're Performance Plus Global Logistics. Our team of dedicated performance industry and logistics experts get valuable cars and components to the track on time in top condition. We provide expedited logistics solutions for the performance industry using direct routes instead of deferred options, and communicate all necessary information to the appropriate resources to meet regulations and ensure a smooth transit and secure delivery, both domestically and internationally. And we exceed customer expectations by providing best-in-class service with an efficient and cost-effective system in place. Contact us today to book your next shipment.
Scott Lewis & Associates, the sales, marketing, and branding specialist for the automotive performance industry since 1988. We get our manufacturers on track by opening an extensive distribution network, providing product training to sales staff, creating fully integrated sales and marketing strategies, building successful industry partnerships, attending trade shows, events, and races, offering first-class support to customers. SLAI delivers solutions that win you sales. To get in touch with an SLAI representative, call 516-378-6100. Go to scottlewisinc.com or email info@scottlewisinc.com.
With roots in the Midwest that date back well before the Model T, Fifth Third Bank has a long history of serving the needs of automotive companies. While much has changed over the years, our passion for helping businesses put cars on the road and on the track has not. Today, we are more committed than ever as a member of SEMA, a founding member of PRI, and a sponsor of multiple race teams across several racing series.
For over a decade, Fifth Third Bank has been a staunch supporter of our industry and a great partner for many companies in the motorsports field.
Our business has been growing extremely fast, and really we could not be where we are today without Fifth Third. They provided amazing strategic advice, the capital we need to support our phases of growth.
They are true partners for me now, and what they do with their involvement in motorsports is untouched in this community.
Where can we take your business? Fifth Third Bank.
You work as hard as your truck, and you have no time for downtime. That's why more truck owners trust Blue Def, America's #1 diesel exhaust fluid brand. Each batch is guaranteed pure, so you can avoid costly repairs caused by inferior DEF. Demand America's best for your truck. Blue Def and Blue Def Platinum. Put trust in your truck.
When it comes to pushing the limits of performance, the pros know there's no room for compromise. At Crowler Cams, we don't just engineer camshafts and valve train components, we redefine what power means. Since 1955, Crowler Cams has been the name trusted by racers, engine builders, and gearheads around the globe. Whether you're building a street machine, a dragster, or a track car, Crowler Cams provides the muscle you need to dominate. And with Crowler, victory is within your reach.
For over 25 years, Wisconsin-based C-Tech Manufacturing has been engineering and manufacturing the toughest, most accessible aluminum tool drawers, cabinets, carts, and tactical storage solutions for America's hardest working professionals. Whatever you need to store and however you need to store it, put your trust in C-Tech Manufacturing. We build it better. Visit our new website at ctechmanufacturing.com or give us a call at 715-355-8842.
If you're watching this video, you might be wondering, what is WPC? WPC is a surface treatment designed to reduce friction and increase the strength of metal parts. As much as it might seem like a coating, WPC is actually a surface treatment. Think of it like shot painting, but the media is much finer, like talc. So what you're left with is a super hard, smooth surface that actually has some proprietary dry lubricants embedded within it. For more information, visit WPCtreatment.com.